fast.
Why doesn't that work? There we go. Okay, so apparently this is Hype versus Savjz. We knew they were starting, but we didn't know exactly when. We don't really have any kind of warning or any kind of countdown.
By the way, this is a match I really wanted to see. Hyped, an NA player, one of the seeded players for the New York BlizzCon qualifier, one of the best players in the world, playing ladder. And recently with a lot of good tournament success as well, playing VGVN. And Savjz, an old player, like he's playing from the beginning, Doggy House, Curse, now Liquids, winning many tournaments. Even recently he qualified for the VGVN from the Open Qualifier and then like went through it and won the whole tournament. So this is kind of like a clash of titans, Crib.
What do you think about the... oh, that's certainly the case. These are two very, very good, very well-known players. But what do you think about these openers? I mean, we're seeing Miracle Rogue versus Control Pally.
This is certainly interesting.
What is this?
I would say, okay...
Isn't Miracle Rogue just about the worst class to open up with?
I have some insider info. I was talking to Tides of Time today during breakfast, and he told me that NA Qualifier was one of the easiest tournaments he played in his life because of the Miracle Rogue with Sludge Belchers. He told me he's like when he took Miracle Rogue with Sludge Belchers and he went like 15-0 with it until lately. So if Temple Storm thinks like this is the best deck, then I understand why you can open with it.
Okay.
And a Paladin from Savjz. This is interesting. Like I'm not sure.
Paladin is okay against like handlock, but it doesn't like crush handlock. It's like what, like 55?
Right now it's it might even be a conflict because of Jaraxxus. Like because you know like Paladin versus handlock is a war of attrition, like removal versus threats. And if you go to Jaraxxus just spawns Infernals and you run out of removal eventually. So what do you think about this matchup, by the way? Like how does Paladin fare against Miracle Rogue?
I don't know about the exact deck that Hyped is playing. I also don't know about Miracle Rogue in general after the Leroy nerf, but I know before the Leroy nerf all the life gain was irrelevant because you'd hit him in one turn for like 26. So, you know, they're not going to cast Lay on Hands at 26 life. So I think prior to the Leroy change, Miracle Rogue was an easily a favorite, but now I'm not sure.
Yeah, now it's tricky because you can't double Shadow Step Leroy unless you actually keep the coin till.
I think now you don't play Leroy.
You might not play Leroy.
Yeah.
So you can't Shadow Step as well. Then the deck is really different. What do we see? We see like a pretty good hand for Miracle Rogue, right? Like a lot of spells. There's Conceal, there's Gadgets.
Yes, we have a pretty good hand for Miracle Rogue, but the answer to a good Miracle Rogue hand is Loatheb. And there it is.
A Sludge Belcher is pretty good as well. It's like just play Sludge Belcher on 5 and they have to sap it maybe, but then you play it again, so they will have to go through double taunt, which is pretty annoying.
Well, it's time to draw, I believe. I think right now we do Gadgetzan, Coin, Conceal, Prep, maybe Sap.
Yeah, just draw as many cards as possible.
There's the Arcane Golem.
So maybe he's still playing... Oh, he's playing Shadow Step, so... Maybe he just switched Leroy for Arcane Golem and the deck is still good. Double Shadow Step. He is also playing Sinister Strike.
Okay. I think I can up my volume here. I think that's a little better.
Sure. I hope that I'll not kill our viewers with my voice here.
Hopefully not.
So basically, Crib, looking at this Miracle Rogue, I'm seeing a lot of burst. I'm seeing Sinister Strike. I'm seeing Arcane Golem with Shadow Step. That's a lot of damage. Even if this Gadgetzan is stopped right now.
Oh, that's a 6-mana Conceal, baby.
That's a 6-mana Conceal, and it will hit, right? There is a 6 mana crystals.
Oh my god.
This is actually insane. You can just attack with Gadgetzan and then cast Conceal again.
Yeah, I think that's what he's gonna do.
Would you ever think that, like before... A lot of people discuss this. Loatheb is countering Miracle Rogue, but if you can cast the second Conceal just after Loatheb, where's the counter? Savjz must be pretty sad right now. Oh, he got Equality, so he can kill this Gadgetzan anyway.
Yeah, he can do the Equality Consecrate right now.
That was actually a huge draw because. Yeah, just stopping this action now is a priority. So many spells in Hype's hand. If he is able to
Hype
get...
actually has 10 cards. I'm just gonna discard.
But you had to conceal there. Like, you have to
Mhm.
keep the Gadgetzan.
Wow.
Oh, he is ignoring Gadgetzan. Oh my god. He's just pushing for damage. And there is a
That
preparation.
is not a card you want to lose. With Gadsden on the board, that is just about the best thing with that kind of hand.
But on the other hand, you have so many spells.
Mm-hmm.
He can just draw his whole deck right here. Get tempo, deal as much damage as possible.
He's only got one deadly poison, so he has to draw either spell damage or like Shiv. Can't do too much right now, actually. What is he fishing for? Backstab is good. He can now do. Oh, he can do another deadly poison.
Oh,
and
this is
that's
huge.
the card he needed. Yeah,
And that's a lot of
another blade
damage.
flurry.
Even though Savjz has a lot of heal in his hand, this burst is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
This was
Perdition's
18.
blade.
This was 18 points of damage. Oh my god! Like, how do you even heal? Like right now, Savjz has to heal and kill this Gadgetzan at the same time.
Can't. Savjz is lost.
Savjz is like dead.
He's dead.
Is there anything?
Yeah, he has Peacekeeper into Sludge Belcher, I think. No, he has Sap. No, he's dead.
This is incredible. Like, a lot of people said they nerfed Leroy, Miracle Rogue is dead. But here we see Hyped. And Hyped is, by the way, one of the best Miracle Rogue players in the world. Playing Miracle Rogue again, a different build.
Mm-hmm.
Totally different. Like, there is so much burst in here. Well, he is killing this Gadgetzan, but how much
Holy
damage
Light.
Hive has?
I think he's over.
It's like Arcane
I
plus
think
Shadow
he's
Step.
way over.
Yeah,
Who
yeah,
are we
yeah,
kidding?
yeah.
Who are we kidding? He's way over. You got the Sap. You got 6 mana left. That's. Oh wow, never mind. That's one off.
Okay, with the sub you have still 6 left, right?
Yeah. It's
So,
Arcane Golem,
Arcane
Cold
Golem-
Blood, Eviscerate.
Yeah.
That's one off.
Can you Shadow Step? Arcane Golem,
Oh,
Cold Blood.
Shadow Step. Shadow Step. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
4
then
for 1.
should be lethal.
Is it? No.
It's 8. Oh my god, he's actually 1 off.
Yeah, he's one off.
Yeah, but still, again, like Savjz is facing, like, he only has 1 point of health, and he's facing an 8-2 Golem, and he
Yeah.
has to heal again.
It is way over on the damage, but under on the mana.
Oh, this is tough for Savjz.
I mean, he doesn't have sap anymore because he's used 2 saps.
Yeah, but if you don't heal, like right now you have to play, being Savjz, you'll have to play Lay on Hands.
If you play Lay on Hands, you lose.
If you play Belcher, you still lose because there is
Yeah, so you can't win.
apparently. I'm thinking of this if there is a way to heal with Lay on Hands and kill the Arcane Golem.
I mean, best case is he gets Lay on Hands and draws a Humility, and that doesn't save him.
yeah, but probably he's just playing 1 Humility and he just casted it. That's basically it. Also, like being Savjz, he had to pick 2 decks. So he picked Paladin and he has a second deck picked.
Mm-hmm.
And Paladin, do you consider Paladin anti-aggro? Kind of?
I don't know.
Not really. It's like mid-range and
I think
anti-control.
Paladin's
maybe.
good against Priest and pretty good against Warrior.
And decent against Warlock.
Yeah.
If they don't have Jiraxes. Like you can rush Paladin, as we see here.
Consecrate Sludge Belcher. Yeah, it's over.
Okay, and Hyped will be able to take the first game versus Savjz
Mm-hmm.
with his super hyper hyped aggro Miracle Rogue.
Whoa. That was a lot of hype.
That's a lot of hype,
A
yeah.
lot of hype. That was pretty good. I certainly didn't expect that kind of matchup. I mean, I didn't expect Miracle Rogue to be played at all, especially as the opener, with as dominant as Handlock is nowadays. But I mean, yeah, if it's not too bad with the Belchers, it does do pretty well against slow decks in general.
Do you think like people would open with Handlock, by the way?
I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think people to counter handlock still have to play like some kind of hunter-ish type deck, and if they play something like that, they're not that big a favorite against most control decks, and most decks are control decks now.
Yeah.
So I think handlock is a pretty good opener. I think without like playing into what people like the mind games type of stuff, just playing standard, I think handlock is like a solid first choice.
Yeah, I agree. It's kind of like handlock is one of the best decks right now. It's really hard to counter, even if you run double BGH. Like we've seen it at the EU regionals in Stockholm. People were running counters and they were still losing. Like even Kolento faced an aggro mage with handlock, which is a really bad matchup, and he was able to win that game and then win the whole series.
We saw that in oh no, it wasn't aggro mage. We saw the Giants mage matchup with Lothar, and that did not seem very winnable at all.
Yeah, that's really tough for handlock.
I mean, you get Alistrazid. He can kill you twice over with the cards in hand. He has the board, and he has Ice Block up.
Yeah, basically for handlock mage is really tough.
Yeah.
But you can still kind of win it. Like even if you're playing against Hunter, if you have like an Ancient Watcher into Iron Beak opening, you might be able to like trade stuff and be able to like.
I actually think that's what he had.
Okay.
It didn't
Oh
work.
man, that's tough.
Yeah.
Well, there are no 100% winnable matchups, right? Like even if you have a very good matchup, it's like 80% at best.
You can get higher than that, I think, but with most popular decks these days, it doesn't get to that level.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you can certainly get to that level in some, I believe. We've seen some of those. We've seen like Slow Priest versus Miracle Rogue, when Miracle Rogue started to be a thing. People weren't even using like Pyromancers. It's like no chance.
Okay.
So,
and we have a new game here.
again, this is a double blind pick, so Savjz had to pick ahead of time. He is playing Handlock from what I can tell.
Yeah, this is certainly a handlock. And as we were saying, handlock is a pretty good deck right now. One of the best decks, a deck to beat certainly. And Miracle Rogue originally had a bad matchup versus handlock, but right now this deck is weird. It's different. I really like Cold Blood versus handlock because you're able to kill the first giant.
That is a pretty good Handlock hand, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, you might want to have the giant, but it's certainly fine.
That second Soulfire is the worst card ever, but the rest is pretty good, and with Handlock you can afford to have dead cards, I believe.
Yeah, especially because he will be drawing some cards right here. Oh, he's playing Power Overwhelming, interesting. This means that he might be playing still the Leroy combo.
Power Overwhelming? I'm just playing Novice Engineer.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And
You're right.
It's not bad against Handlock.
Well, this Miracle Rogue is like, you just want to draw as many cards as possible. You just want to sprint through your deck to draw all the damaging cards. So I guess Novice Engineer is fine. And
How do you handle this?
being
You
Miracle
ignore
Rogue,
it, I think.
can you kill it easily with like Backstab and Cold Blood? That would be 6, 7. No, you need even more. Attack phase for 1.
I mean, you can sap, but that's not good enough.
You
You're
don't
just gonna
want-
play it again next turn.
Yeah, you
Can.
You don't want to sap so early. Like you want to sap a taunt.
Yeah, you want to have something that gains taunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going for the card cycle, and I like it because there was no good way to deal with this. He's just going for for more cards. But Savjz's hand is just so good in here. I'm really like confused by this Power Overwhelming.
My main concern is that Savjz has no taunts, and on top of that, his only way to gain life, like really stabilize, is Jirax, which is 9.
Oh, look at that! There's the best turn 5 taunt you can play. And Belcher is so dominant in the current metagame. Just you can put Belcher in any deck.
Now, what do you do here? Do you kill the 1/1 with the Drake?
I believe so. Like you've seen Cold Bloods before, so you want to keep the board clear to deny the Cold Blood possibility. And you can just extend the board. I think like playing Sludge Belcher is fine. Twilight Drake is also fine. The question is, what do you want to do later? And Twilight Drake might be a very good card to be able to trade with whatever Hype will play. So attack into 1-1, play the Twilight Drake, and pass.
Well, that is what he does. It just seems that the stream isn't perfectly in sync right now. So we know that Savjz played the Drake because it left his hand. There he goes. 4-9. Pretty good card.
Yeah, that's pretty tough to deal with.
He
Even
did go face, though. That is a bit interesting.
well, that's maybe because he has a really bursty hand with power and double so far. So instead of just playing it safe and clearing the board, and also, as you've noticed, he doesn't have any taunt givers right now. But he's not respecting the Cold Bloods. But I guess he's fine. Like, if this novice... Oh my god, I don't know. It's because if you have so much burst, you might actually want to Cold Blood the novice and go face.
Well,
Yeah.
he's choosing to return the Drake. I don't know. I don't know if I like that too much.
Right now, this is the tempo play. So he's kind of racing. He wants to limit the board. He wants to force Savjz to trade. For Hype, it's kind of tricky because you have to play around Molten Giants, but you want to get them low enough so you'll be able to finish them with Sinister Strikes and Blade Flurry, Eviscerate.
He does actually have lethal right now.
Yeah.
If
Oh.
the novice gets ignored,
I don't think
Savjz might die.
there's no way the novice is going to be ignored.
Yeah.
Like, you have to kill it with fire.
Soulfire that's actually very good. Soulfire discarding Soulfire.
I'm pretty surprised he didn't discard Jiraxus. There's like 80% chance he discards Jiraxus every time you cast Soulfire.
Oh, I've noticed that.
That's the thing, right? Oh my god, he got an Arcane Golem. Is that it?
No. He's on 6 mana. It's not even close to it.
Wait, that's 4. That's 8. That's 14. That's like... That's a lot of damage.
Yeah.
And you possibly...
I think you do that.
But then Farseer or Siphon Soul is...
No, I think you Arcane Golem with Cold Blood.
And sap one of the Drakes. Yeah, what else you can do? Like,
I'm thinking maybe Eviscerate.
I think you want to keep Eviscerate for the final push.
I
Like,
think you want to keep Sinister Strike for the final push.
yeah, Sinisters and Eviscerate. So it's like 10 points of damage out of nowhere. Because you're like, Savjz doesn't have an idea how much health he has right now. If you attack with Arcane Golem and Cold Blood, then Savjz will have, what, 9? So you have lethal in hand, but you're not giving a signal that you have lethal in hand. So I think, like, Arcane Golem...
Well, you'd attack with the dagger too. He'd be at 8.
Yeah. And you can still sap. Like,
Yeah. And you can still Blade Flurry next turn.
yeah. Blade Flurry into, like, Eviscerate, doubles Sinister, and
Okay, he
Is it
does do
mana?
the Eviscerate. So right now, Savjz has to draw.
well, he's dead, I'd say.
He's
because he'll even if he plays the Farseer, like, he will have to play double Farseer or something. But if he plays the Farseer, he's still dead because
Yeah.
Hype has 7.
Yeah, he needed to draw another Farseer.
Yeah. Oh my god, this was so fast, Crypt. Like, I don't believe it. This rogue is just insane. Do I have any Temple Storm guys in my group? Because I'm I'm shaking with fury.
All right, well let's check.
I don't
you
think-
got 2 Chinese dudes and Masan.
I have Dong Zong and Blue Heart in my group. I hope that they haven't talked to Temple Storm because this rogue is just insane. So Savjz thinks he's in a good shape. This
It's
is
exact lethal. I
yeah,
mean-
it's exactly lethal. It's exactly 7.
Oh, he got 2 more now.
This is just incredible. Can we see Savjz's
Well
face?
played.
This is well played.
Oh, so sorry.
I just can't believe it. It's like so Blizzard nerfs Leroy, and like Miracle Rogue is one of the most explosive decks we know. It's one of the decks that deals a lot of damage, and they nerf Leroy, so they weaken the deck. And then Sludge Belcher is the most common card people use, and then we see this. Like, Hype is bringing the most aggressive deck I've seen in.
I think against the
Couple of-
Paladin, he was like by far the favorite. I mean, we saw that he ran into Lotheb, which is like the answer.
Yeah.
But it didn't even work. But against the Handlock, I mean, the Sludge Belcher, he didn't draw it to play it. We don't even. Do we even know if there's a Sludge Belcher in the Rogue deck? We don't know.
I think there is no such Belcher. Like if he is really into burst, and if he has cards like Novice Engineer and like Cold Light Oracle, you probably don't run Sludge Belcher there. There might be, but this is a different Miracle Rogue. Like this is not a standard Rogue that they played like in a qualifier. This is something new.
The interesting one is Novice Engineer, because you know, it's a little bit more dynamic than cards that we've seen before. Like, you know, we saw the Miracle Rogue started with Pagel, then it went to like Acolytes, but all these can get like punished by like Silence, Kodos, and with the Novice, it's a little bit harder to punish now. Like, yeah, Kodo and Novice, like, who cares?
Yeah.
And on the other end, the Novice, if you run into like taunts and stuff like that, Shadow Step is no longer useful for like the Arcane Golem. You can draw into your direct damage, and I think that's why we see like the double Sinister Strike.
Yeah. Also, there's a lot of uses for Novice because you want to go through your deck as fast as possible because you want to draw into all the Sinister Strikes you have, all the Eviscerates you have. So you can just play it to like cycle your deck, and also you can use Cold Blood on it. So this small Novice, like you've seen Savjz actually ignored it.
Yeah.
And then he used Cold Blood on Novice and dealt like 5 points of damage out of nowhere.
If Hype didn't draw the Deadly Poison to do 2 extra damage that turn from the Blade Flurry, he actually wouldn't have won that game if Savjz killed the 1/1 with the 4. Yeah.
That was critical.
Actually, the Cold Blood ended up doing 5. If you killed that thing... No, it would have done 4 later with the Cold Blood on the Arcane Golem. So yeah, it was just 1 damage.
Do you think that Handlock is still favored in this matchup, or is a Miracle Rogue? Like this build, is it favored?
I think Handlock is still favored. Normally, the Handlock openers are very aggressive, and you don't... I mean, he ran into double sap both games. I mean, who are we kidding? Most of the time, when I've seen the Rogues lose, we see like a Drake or a Ancient Watcher getting taunt in the early game, and you just can't push for like a charge or a Cold Blood hit or something like that. So that missing portion of damage gives the Warlock a few extra turns, and those few extra turns are like the ones you need to avoid as the Rogue.
But on the other hand, you know, he has Cold Light Oracle and Shadow Steps, so he can try to burn Warlock, like burn cards, and that's tricky. But it seems like Warlock is a bit favored.
I believe that at the same time there should have been an Alchemist Admirable game, but I mean, I don't have a feed of that, so we can only assume. But we do know that on the same stage that we just saw Hype play Savjz, we're going to see Monk play Hulu. We're going to get into that in a few minutes. We have to set up. We're gonna change you out, I believe, for Lothar.
Sure.
And he's gonna talk to us about Monk's and Hulu's plays on that one. But it's been fun. We'll probably have a bit more of you. You are playing tomorrow. Hopefully you survive.
Well, I will survive today for sure. And tomorrow...
Yeah, you got a bit lucky, didn't you? You were moved out of the group of death.
Oh, yeah. Wait, wasn't that a group of death because I was there?
Yeah, yeah.
Let's hope for that.
We gotta go. All right.
Oh, Crypt, that was a pleasure. So, see you later.
See ya.